I saved Leon, the injured Arab city, and took care of him for 3 years. Everyone assumed I was blackmailing him into a grateful marriage. Until his first love returned to the country and demanded a meeting with me, all fire and fury. I stared at her handbag and asked, "Where's the check?" I held the cup of plain water, wearing a petty merchant's smile. "I've looked after Leon for 3 years. You're his fiancé, I thought you were here to pay. Isn't that right?" She had just returned to the country when the Liang and Xiao families couldn't wait to announce the marriage, though the wedding date hadn't been set yet. Joanna sneered as she looked me up and down, fished a few red bills out of her delicate clutch, and tossed them in front of me. "Here, take it." "How stingy." I pretended to be puzzled as I counted them. "Huh? Leon's only worth this much?" She snorted, pulled a check out of her bag. "How much do you want?" "Write it yourself." I beamed, took it carefully, and filled in a long string of 9s. Joanna almost fainted when she saw it. The amount I wrote would take most of her fortune. "Huh? You won't be able to cover that, will you?" I looked at her innocently. "If you don't have it, then, why not borrow from someone?" Joanna rose in anger. "If it takes that much, I wouldn't mind risking my life to spend it." I shrugged and grinned. "I'd rather die as a rich ghost." She grabbed her bag, clicked her high heels, and stormed out of the cafe. I lowered my eyelids, felt the check in my hand, and put away my smile. I had always known I was living inside a book. I would encounter Leon, wounded and collapsed on the road I took home, save him, care for him, and then be used by him as a substitute for his first love, only to be discarded when the real one returned. After I was abused into depression and died, Leon would only then realize he loved me. So, 3 years ago, when I saw Leon lying stiffly in front of me, I kicked him a few times, thought for a moment, and still rescued him. No other reason. I knew he was wealthy. I was looking forward to those rich people throwing money in my face to make me leave him. What use is affection? Money is the only thing that matters. I set up a stall at the gate of the villa district where those rich people live. I even propped up a big piece of cardboard with a few sticks, on which I wrote, "Leon's items, big clearance sale, fair prices, no fooling anyone." Leon stayed at my place for 3 years. He only moved out after Joanna returned to their country, leaving behind a lot of things he didn't want. Those wealthy young ladies who admired Leon stood in front of my stall, equal parts ashamed and furious. "How can you sell Mr. Leon's things? You can't be a fraud, can you?" I lifted my head proudly. "I took care of him for 3 years, what kind of fraud would be that patient?" They looked at me suspiciously. "Sophia? Do you have proof?" I opened my phone. There were the photos I had secretly taken of Leon. Look. Look. Genuine and untouched. These are the things Leon left at my place and didn't take. I watched their expressions. They wanted to keep the things Leon had used, but pride kept them from saying so. "Fine, I'll offer them the out. I'm such a considerate, understanding person. If you don't want Leon's privacy exposed, don't want him to be publicly humiliated, then just buy everything back. Consider it doing a good deed for him." I casually picked up a towel and waved it in front of them. Their expressions softened a little, but they pretended to be angry, shameless. "I bought all of these. My family does charity too, we should share the burden. I'm buying some too. Leave some for me." They scrambled to scan my payment code one after another. I listened to the pleasant beeps of payments in my ear and waved my hand. "Divide them among yourselves. I'm done with it. Make sure you clean up." They deserved the pleasure. When I turned back after walking away, the floor was empty, nothing left. I clicked my tongue in admiration. 10,000 for a thing, those girls really had money. I was lying on the sofa at home, counting the numbers on my bank cards, when the front door was violently knocked. Through the peephole I saw Leon's face, dark with gloom. "I know you're in there. Open up, or I'll break it down." I cooperated and opened the door, but stood rooted in the doorway. His eyes were black and deep, his teeth clenched. "I heard you sold off the things I didn't want." The news sure travels fast. I nodded carelessly, yeah. So what? He stared at me fixedly, as if lost in thought, like an idiot. Wasting my time counting money. I stepped back and swung the door shut with my other hand. Leon pounded on the door in a fury, shouting, "Sophia! How dare you lock me out? I've already died once, what am I afraid of? Got something to say? If not, get out of here. Don't disturb my rest." Leon suddenly laughed. "You're jealous, aren't you?" As if. I cracked the door open and thrust out a payment QR code. "For the past 3 years you've eaten my food, stayed in my place, everything was on me. Since you're here now, pay me back." He stared at me in disbelief, then feigned calm and sneered, "Trying to get my attention again, wanting money? Come to the bar tonight." With that he turned and left, as if fleeing in haste. When he moved out he was so resolute and cold, insisting on cutting all ties, and now he wants me to seek him out. For those 3 years I complied with him in everything, cared for him, coddled him. He really thought I loved him that much. It's a pity, he toyed with me, and I was playing along too. But I don't want to play with him anymore. When I was selling things before, I took the opportunity to add the ladies' contacts. I created a group. Current, Leon's whereabouts tonight. Highest bid wins. 10-minute limit. As time was almost up, suddenly an unfamiliar avatar was added. The name was blunt, Miss Joanna. She placed a bid at the very last second, 100,000. The number jumped to 10, and I instantly sent the message I'd been waiting for: sold. Joanna warned me not to look for Leon and said she'd only pay me the remaining fee after she met him. I hadn't planned on going anyway. I was lying at home, happily wearing a face mask, soaking my feet, and binge-watching dramas. During the 3 years of taking care of Leon, I played the sycophant role to perfection and had no time to cultivate my own hobbies. Leon didn't stop to think, how could I possibly fall for him at first sight? Maybe that's the confidence of a jerk. The jerk called me. "Sophia. You stood me up." Leon exploded. I held the phone a little farther away. "Do you know how long I waited for you?" I glanced at the time. Oh, it was already 1 a.m. I slowly peeled off my face mask. "I didn't make you wait. Or are you still pining for me?" He got angrier. "Dream on. I've broken up with you. Don't bother me." "Break up? Ridiculous. I certainly don't think we ever dated." I feigned confusion and said, "Huh? We were together? Break up? Didn't I act as a nanny for 3 years, taking the things you didn't want as my pay? You already moved out, I got the money, transaction completed, no need to contact each other anymore." "Oh, and you should thank me, I even arranged for your fiancé to keep you company." Leon was about to curse, but I hung up in time. Not long after, Joanna called me to pay the remaining balance, and she even sent a photo of herself with Leon. "You were with Leon for 3 years, don't think, you little sparrow, that you can fly up to the treetop and turn into a phoenix." But I truly had no interest in Leon, I was only interested in money. What crossed the line was Joanna's personal attack on me. So I saved the photo and replied, "Pleasure doing business with you, Miss Joanna. If you need any help in the future, feel free to reach out." The biggest worry for a rich young miss is love. For love, money doesn't matter. But for a corporate drone like me, everything is a worry, except that with money, all worries disappear. And as the female lead, of course my father died early, I have a mother bedridden and in need of huge medical expenses, and as an unremarkable designer my drafts will be plagiarized by the supporting character Joanna. Doesn't matter, doesn't matter. When I learned Joanna was coming back, the plot I'd been waiting for officially began. I took all my annual leave to free up time to collect the money. I contacted a gossip reporter, photos of Leon Group's CEO Leon and his fiancée, want them? I flashed the phone screen at him for a moment, then turned it off. He wasn't satisfied, I want them. 100,000. No haggling. He hesitated, this is a bit too, I pretended to put my phone away. Then I'll find someone else. He immediately relented. I'll transfer it to you right now. When I received the money, I was in a pretty good mood. With a few days left of the holiday and the hospital nearby, I decided to visit my mother Maya. As payment for me saving Leon, he booked the best team for my mother, so I wouldn't have to spend a single cent. But that wasn't the reward I wanted. Maya lay in the luxury hospital room, comfortably watching the ultra-high-definition TV, various fruits laid out before her. When she saw me arrive, she smiled and waved. Here, try this cherry, I've heard it's been flown in from overseas, all thanks to Leon. I sat down beside her, picked one up and ate it, quietly keeping her company watching TV. When that episode ended and the show went to commercial, she spoke again. I heard from the nurse that Leon's fiancée is back. What about you? I didn't care and said, of course she was abandoned. Maybe there's still a chance, she asked, looking at me with hope. I took a deep breath and suppressed my anger. They like each other, they're from matching families, it's even a corporate arranged marriage, who could begrudge them happiness? Do you want me to barge in and wreck it? She glared at me as if I were hopeless. You can't do this, you can't do that, what use are you? Fine, go away, let me think this through. She's just thinking unrealistic things. I was about to walk off when she called after me, oh, by the way, did he give you any breakup money? I shut my eyes irritably. Breakup money? Don't think like that. Just focus on getting better. I stepped out the hospital doors and ran into Leon. He blocked my way, so I had to stop. I forced a smile. Oh, fancy meeting you here. Too bad. I came looking for you. I lifted my eyelids and glanced at him, oh. With that I was about to move around him. He reached out and blocked me again. I think you're doing a good job as a nanny, keep at it. For now, take me home and make me some sobering soup. I looked at him, amused. You're still drunk? Did the things I said yesterday get washed out of your brain with the alcohol? He went cold. Have you had enough of making a scene? Who do you think you are, that you can compare yourself to Joanna? Even jealousy should have its limits. You weren't like this before. I sneered, of course not. Before I was trying to please you, now I don't need to. As for being jealous, that's not a hobby of mine. Have you seen my true colors yet? Once you've seen them, stop clinging to me, stop making a fuss. His eyes widened. Who are you saying is making a fuss? I shot back, isn't it you? He took several heavy breaths. You. Do you believe me if I stop my financial support for your mother? My eyes lit up, this feeling was so good. I continued to taunt, I don't believe you. If you've got the nerve, stop right now. Go on, stop. He was completely enraged, and on the spot took out his phone to call his assistant. Now, immediately cease all medical funding for Sophia's mother. Send her back to wherever she came from. He stared straight at me, trying to read panic or please on my face. But inside I was secretly delighted. I'm not the saintly heroine from the book who pours her heart out to an awful mother. After my father died, Maya thought I was a burden who would stop her from remarrying, so she put me in boarding school, gave me $200 a month for living expenses, and told me not to bother her. It wasn't until I was recommended to the best university and won hundreds of thousands in scholarships that Maya came to me. But I thought she was useless, without me she still couldn't remarry, and without her I was doing just fine. Later she fell ill. Out of filial duty I took care of her, but only the basic medical needs. That wasn't enough for her, she wanted me to marry a nouveau riche man she knew and have his family arrange it. By chance, I had saved Leon, she found out, recognized him at a glance, and let me climb onto that high branch, even going so far as to seek out Leon herself, successfully securing the best medical support. After enjoying 3 years of stolen good fortune, it was time to end. Leon's people moved quickly, and I immediately received a call from Maya. Her tone was frantic. What's going on, Sophia? Even if you two broke up, you saved him, can he just leave you like this? I pretended not to understand, I don't need him to take care of me. She choked, then continued, they made me leave, they won't save me, they say it's Mr. Leon's wish. What is going on between you and him? How can he be so heartless? Leon was standing close, he heard Maya's words and looked at me with a half-smile, as if to say, let's see what you'll do now, aren't you going to beg me? I smiled at him, a sincere smile. Then I must thank Mr. Leon for forcing you out. Leon's smile faltered, he stared at me in shock. Maya screamed, what do you mean? Are you happy about this? I smiled slowly, yes, I'm very happy. Let's go back to the public hospital. Don't worry, I'll pay your medical bills, even if it might not cure you, it won't kill you. Maya nearly broke down. The doctor said if I keep treating it for another year I'll recover. You want me to go back to that shitty hospital, do you want me to die? I was astonished, how do you know? She screamed like a madwoman, I'm not going back. You're my daughter. You gave birth to me. I'm staying here to get treatment. You can pay my medical bills. I pulled my face into a cold expression. Oh, the law doesn't require me to give you the best treatment. Take it or leave it. I hung up. Leon's features showed a crack of disintegration. You're so cruel. You don't even care about your mom. I used to see you visiting her often and thought you were such a caring person, what a hypocrite. That had all been an act. Let him find my weak spot, let him think he was landing a heavy blow, and have him take revenge for me. Perfect, 2 birds with 1 stone. He'd been by my side for 3 years, yet he didn't know I hated Maya, which was his own stupidity. Maybe my ruthlessness scared Leon, he didn't come to find me for several days after that. I went back to work. At the Monday morning meeting everyone was drowsy. Suddenly a shout came from somewhere in the room, then vanished. I was instantly alert. The person next to me poked me. Check the group chat. Someone forwarded the trending topic into the group, the headline irresistible, photos of the Leon Group CEO and his fiancée allegedly leaked. Clever move, very clever, posting it on a Monday morning when workers love to slack off. As soon as it went up, it shot to the top of the trending list. People covered their mouths and laughed softly, whispering to one another. The manager cleared his throat on stage, everyone, pay attention. Today we have a new colleague joining us, who's also our CEO's fiancée, Miss Joanna. Please give her a round of applause. That familiar title made everyone look up in unison. Joanna glanced over, a look of satisfaction on her face. As the poor, tragic heroine, my career hasn't gone smoothly either. Every time it might be my turn for a promotion, someone else always sticks a foot in the way. This time it should have been me, but Joanna screwed it up again. I'm used to it. If I don't get promoted, I don't get promoted. From now on I'll just be a lazy little clerk, follow the company rules, don't get fired. If Leon Corporation does well, I won't be optimized away. But this time was different. Joanna deliberately parachuted in at this hot moment. My co-workers looked at her with strange eyes, and her smug expression slowly froze as she couldn't understand why. After the meeting, she stopped me. What did you do? Why are they looking at me like that? I only stole your promotion. Is it really that big a deal? I shook my head repeatedly. Not that bad, not that bad. My shrinking, timid demeanor pleased her. She snorted with her nose raised and pulled out her phone to take a look. My heart skipped a beat. It was that glance, her smile froze. She saw the headline, then tapped to read it more closely, and saw the private photos of her and Leon. I was about to slip away quietly when she suddenly whipped her head around and glared at me. Stop right there. I chuckled. It was you who sent the photo out. Doesn't that just prove how lovey-dovey you two are? I was about to explain when her phone rang. Who gave you permission to take photos like that and send them to the entertainment reporters? Do you know this tarnishes my image? We've already officially announced our engagement, and you're still not satisfied. Pull the trending post down immediately. Or don't blame me for being ruthless. Leon roared and hung up. Joanna stood there dazed, phone in hand, only the faint beep 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 sounding. She glared at me viciously. This is all you're doing? All that showing off affection. You're just unable to let go of Leon, trying to drive a wedge between us. No, 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 you're mistaken. You did it on purpose. You sold me the tip about him being at the bar, deliberately provoked me into sending you the photos, just so you could use it to hurt me. Her eyes hardened. Give me my money back. I jolted and blurted out, no. Joanna burst out, are you serious? You take my money and then still hang around Leon. I hurried to soothe her. Listen, sis, let me explain. I really don't like him. I was after his money. But he's too stingy. He lives at my place, uses my stuff and won't pay. Still, I already sold his things for cash, so I'm not going to make a fuss. I said it so matter-of-factly that Joanna was stunned for a long moment. Wait, I'll prove it to you. I called Leon in front of her. Leon, come down to the design department, I need to talk to you. He gave a wicked smile. Have you changed your mind? I give you 3 minutes to come down. I hung up, then pulled Joanna to wait by the CEO's private elevator. As soon as Leon came out, I stepped in front of him. Tell me, what were we to each other during those 3 years? He laughed softly. You finally decided to bow your head. Fine, I'll admit it, those 3 years we were a couple, but we've already broken up. If you want. Joanna glared at me in anger. Before she could explode, I interrupted Leon. Broken up, huh? There's etiquette in our line. Asking for a breakup settlement isn't too much, is it? Leon frowned. I've taken care of you with all my heart for 3 years, waking up early to make you breakfast, waiting up at night to cook you hangover soup, braving wind and rain to earn a living and support you. I worked so hard, tirelessly. I've given so much, can't you even meet this small request of mine? Are you even a man anymore? His brow relaxed, he was moved by my words. All right, I'll give it to you. He pulled out his phone and tapped away, and the next second I received a bank transfer notification. I was satisfied. I turned to Joanna. Big sis, are you satisfied? She nodded, dazed, satisfied. I immediately relaxed, grinned, reached out, and flashed the payment QR code. If that's the case, pay up. I'm not performing for free. Listening to the sound of the payment arriving, I put my phone away, satisfied. Leon had come to and his face was as black as a pan. Sophia. You called me down here just to get money? I'm warning you. I don't want to hear your lecture. I grabbed Joanna, shoved her into his arms, and said, Big sister, I'm doing this for you, you have to protect me. I'm off. Leon stamped his foot in anger. Sophia. Come back here. Joanna shyly hugged him. Leon, don't look at her, look at me. Leon is, after all, a CEO, he can't keep sulking and coming to find me every time. I have nothing better to do, I sketch design drafts every day, and when I'm not satisfied I take a photo to archive it, then toss it into the wastebasket. The National Design Competition offers a very generous prize, and I want to enter too. According to the book setup, my abilities are top tier, but alas I'm a tragic heroine who can never claim the honors that belong to her. Liang Qiao's family quickly announced the wedding date next, setting it for the 3rd day after the National Design Competition Awards ceremony. Joanna imagined winning the championship and getting married in glory. She was certain she would take first place. The day before the submission deadline, my computer was formatted, all the design files on the desktop were gone, and not a single draft remained in the recycle bin. Joanna came over gloating, don't bother wasting your effort. With your level, after all these years you can't even be a team leader. Entering the competition is pointless. Put your silly schemes away and be a good little sparrow. I was a little annoyed. Oh, really? I hope you despise the little sparrow's design. She didn't answer. The awards ceremony was being broadcast live. I watched the winning design displayed on the big screen and it looked familiar, exactly the piece I had intended to submit. But the name on the screen was Joanna. As she was about to go on stage, I sent her a message. There are cameras at my workstation, all my design drafts are archived. In the footage, she glanced at her phone, then forced a smile for the entire remainder of the broadcast. I still had to go to work the next day. Joanna, being busy with wedding preparations, didn't have to come into the office, but she arrived early. "Sophia, come out, I need to talk to you." "I'm going to work, I'm busy." I waved her off and ignored her. She waited until the morning break, and when she saw me step outside she stopped me. "You're free now, right?" "Oh, I need to eat, I'm busy." She followed me, "Then I'll go too." I smiled without replying, then went to the street stall. The small tables were greasy, and there were used bowls and chopsticks left uncollected. Joanna frowned in disgust. "I'll take you to a restaurant." "No, I just like this place's fried rice noodles." She held back her anger and stomped off. When I returned to the office I saw her again. She was about to say something, and I cut her off. "I'm going to take a lunch break, don't bother me." After that, she kept looking for me. And I'm off work. If I don't go back, my mother will starve to death. "Are you going to collect her body?" "I'm sleeping, don't disturb me, you'll give me a heart attack." "I'm working, don't interfere with my job." "I need to eat. I need to sleep. I need to work." Until the night before her wedding, I stopped and asked, "Aren't you busy? Aren't you getting married?" "People are helping me get everything ready." "Don't change the subject, are you free today?" "If you're not free, what do you want me to do?" "I'm getting married tomorrow. I don't want anything to go wrong, so you must be free today." She grew anxious, gripping my arm tightly, afraid I might make trouble tomorrow. I nodded. "I'm hungry. I want beef Wellington, Boston lobster, foie gras, baked escargot, macarons, caviar, and black truffles." "Okay, I'll take you there right now." At the dining table she looked at me, about to say something. I spoke first. "I'm hungry, wait until I'm finished eating." She frustratedly picked up her knife and fork. When I had eaten and drunk my fill, I wiped my mouth contentedly. "Okay, say it." She was about to speak when I cut her off again. "Wait, let me say it first. I'm angry, not because you stole my picture, but because you deleted the report I just finished and the files I had organized to hand in. I'm not taking the blame for this. You explain it to the manager right now and fix the work yourself. I will not do it a second time." She drew a deep breath. "Do you have to be like this? Hurry up, I'm watching you." I tilted my chin, indicating, "Or I'm leaving, I'm not waiting for you." She called the manager in a choked voice and said that when she asked me for the file she accidentally hit the wrong key and formatted my computer, and all my work materials were gone. The manager smiled ingratiatingly. "It's okay, have Sophia redo it." I stared at Joanna. She hurriedly said, "No, it's my fault, I can't let her do it." The manager looked troubled. "But aren't you getting married? There probably isn't enough time." Joanna spoke with righteous certainty. "Anyway, it's been handed over to you, so just do it yourself. I see you're not busy, you drink tea every day, so you do it for me, or I'll have Leon fire you." Joanna looked at me cautiously. "Is this okay?" I nodded. "Then can you delete that?" I shook my head. She suddenly raised her voice. "What exactly do you want?" People around us all looked over, her face flushed red, and she closed her mouth awkwardly. "I want 10 times the bonus." I deftly pulled out my phone and opened the payment code. "Pay up." She clutched her phone, biting her lip. "You've already taken so much money from me before." "It's fine," I said amiably and pocketed my phone. Then I added, "I'll send the evidence out tomorrow. At the moment you go on stage, I'll make sure you blow up." Her face went pale. "You think your little trick can stop me from entering the contest? Why didn't I expose you on the spot?" "Because I couldn't care less about any championship." I sipped my tea slowly. "What I want, from beginning to end, is only money." She bit her lip, as if she'd made up her mind. "Then I'll give you money. Can you promise not to expose me? Actually, what you're worried about is only whether the wedding can go on. Once tomorrow passes, who will care about this? Right?" She nodded. Then I can stay with you until your wedding is over. She thought for a moment and agreed. So I, a heroine worth hundreds of millions, became the bridesmaid of the vicious supporting woman who was marrying the male lead. Joanna kept worrying, glancing at me again and again during the ceremony. The live chat for this wedding of the century filled up like this: what do I do? I'm actually kind of shipping the bride and the bridesmaid. I'm losing my mind, the radiant young miss and her gentle beauty. Suddenly I feel like Leon is just a big spotlight, a malicious stumbling block supporting character who sabotages the perfect love. And I always had the sense that Leon was watching me too. Every time I looked over, he'd look away. So baffling. Then the comments turned into this: the groom and bride both love the bridesmaid, to keep the other from succeeding, they marry each other. Upstairs, that really is a one-and-done solution. When Leon looked over again, I caught him in the act. I snapped, look all you want, what are you staring at? Keep staring and I'll gouge your eyes out. I had originally gone with the bride and groom to offer a toast, thinking that with all the noise and my low voice, nobody but the couple would hear me, and it might even rain Leon in a bit. I just didn't expect the MC to walk by with the microphone still on. Those words were amplified through the speaker. Deafening. They made Leon's face flush and he stopped looking at me. They also made everyone else present fix their eyes on me. But Joanna thought I was talking about her, her face flushing red. Got it, I won't look at you then. Just stick with me. Now everyone's expressions were off. I closed my mouth that was about to explain. This is better. A misunderstanding involving Joanna is preferable to one involving Leon. As for what happened to them afterward, I didn't care. Because as soon as the wedding was over, I slipped away. No, I flew away. I had gotten my visa early, carried my passport and ID with me, and took a red-eye flight to travel the world. My resignation letter was on the desk, and the caregiver I had hired had also arrived at the hospital. From that moment on, I was no longer the female lead of some shabby book, I was the protagonist of my own life.